Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for our final game of the Grand Finals between CDEC and Invictus Gaming. It is MLP Dota and John X Fire. John, we've made it all the way to game number 5 between these two. There's only one game left. One spot left to the minor for the China qualifiers. And, well, it should be a fun one, John. How do you feel?
I'm feeling great, Mike. Finally glad to be here. Last game, it's going to be something else to watch out for. Both teams being really even, 2-2. And all of the matches really going all the way. It's been a long journey. But one of these teams will go on. One of them will have to stay behind and just settle with 20 DPC points. We're going to find out who is going to get what as we do go into the opening. Looks like IG is really going to take their time there, eating a lot into the reserve. They go with Lina in the end. Not too surprising. They followed up with a Sand King. So you have that Lina Sand King combination that we talk about so often. Just a very natural, great setup for the LSA. If you can land that stun afterwards, really easy to find those kills in lane. You have great team fight with the Sand King. It's going to be quite good to play around with. But with that Rubik pickup from CDEC, you have a lot of ways of turning that against IG now. On top of that, you have that Centaur anyway for the engage and disengagement. So you have a pretty good opening for both teams. I'm wondering, are they going to change up their drafts? Are they going to go with something more aggressive? Are we going to see that same measured pace from both sides? That has been really the story of this best of 5. Just patience from both ends, trying to find as much farm as possible, work themselves up to significant advantage and then take those fights, which has been really how both teams have been playing. You know, they take their time, they understand the pace of the game, and they just look for an opening. When that opening shows itself, that's when they pounce.
Well, it is game 5. I mean, there's a lot on the line. I imagine both teams will probably play pretty cautious. You know, you don't want to take it too far. You don't want to throw a game away just because of one silly team fight. We'll see, though, with these drafts, is you don't want to really lose just because you didn't draft something that would have worked. We'll find out. CDEC, one more ban for them, one more ban for IG. There'll be no more Mirana, Shadow Demon coming out as IG have just got rid of them. So something different should be coming. And, well, there's the Invoker ban. CDEC paying the respect to the Invoker of Emo. Fair enough.
Yeah, he just does so much work in that hero. We've seen it over a different series. Hasn't popped out here at all. But CDEC doesn't want to be seeing that in Game 5. It is just something IG really plays around quite well. So I like that ban coming out from them. We'll see what exactly IG has in mind as they go into their last ban as well. It's going to be interesting to see how you build off the back of this strong opening. And they do go for the Gyrocopter. Not too surprising. It's a safe pick. It gives you everything you want. You have that good early power spike. You can flash farm really fast. You can hold your own until the late game. Just a very safe hero for IG to go with.
It certainly is, and we've seen it over and over again throughout these qualifiers. And well, it's had a mixed results, but it seems to do well most of the time. I'd say it's won more than it's lost. CDEC, they'll go for the lifestealer, and we saw this from them before. Of course, Eve does play a pretty mean lifestealer. Does tend to go for the Midas into Radiance build, as we've seen it over and over again from him today. But he had a game up against the Gyro before with this hero, and, well, he performed extremely well. So IG should be well aware of that. Going to this 4th pick, you've got to have some decent counters towards that lifestealer, otherwise he is just going to become a problem. What do you run, though?
I like that. The Bane is great. You can hold the Lifestealer through the Rage. Gives you that great control on that one target. And that just takes away a lot of the utility the Lifestealer tends to have. Just having that Rage not amount to much does really give a lot of value to this Bane. So I'm not too upset about that. You don't have the Mirana combination, but single-handedly taking out that Lifestealer in a match is a worthwhile trade. You're not going to be asking for any more from that Bane. And it does make it easy to focus on the other heroes on CDEC's side. Still, though, we might see something that can carry the Lifestealer through. A natural vehicle coming out. Could be the Puck. Could be the Storm. The Clockwork. Probably not, because you already have that Centaur. And CDEC does go into the Disruptor, just giving themselves stronger team fight along with that Centaur. Really easy way to start these fights. Begs the question of what will you get for this lifestealer? He doesn't have a natural carrier. We have seen a couple of games where you don't really need it, but up against a team like IG, it does feel like you want that easy way in to force these fights to your advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
5 seconds remaining.
Final bans to come out. Both teams plenty of reserve time available for them to make these, and I mean, there's only those mid calls left for either side. So what do you not want to play against?
Radiant team.
Looks like
Yeah,
they'll
the
get rid of the
storm would have
storm.
been big. It would have been big. Like, that's the vehicle CDEC goes back to every single time. For XM, he does a lot of good work in that hero. You know, he can really stall out a game once he hits his 25. So they ban that out. Options are very limited now for the vehicle for Lifestealer.
Radiant team
I'd say the only one viable, it's really a Puck or maybe a Queen of Pain if you go that route. But that is if they are looking to maximize that Lifestealer. They could just possibly go for something they feel is just generally better for their overall pace rather than having to wait to get that easy gank. They go with a Venomancer. So you have pretty strong team fight coming out. They do come online fairly early. I'm not sure about this last pick though. Like, we have seen a couple of games where it does work out. Against the draft IG has, it's a bit iffy. You really have to play around your team fight here if you want to snowball.
10
Because the
seconds
Venomancer
remaining.
tapers off very hard. And Jarcopter could just pick up an early BKB,
5 seconds
and that's
remaining.
most of your damage just straight up gone.
It'd be interesting. We did see this before. I believe it was CDEC who ran the Veno, and I don't believe it worked out very well for them last time around. Will it work this time, is the real question. Depends on IG's last pick. And they'll go back into the PL, which is... I mean, there's not really much to take out those illusions, to be fair. You could make the argument that the Venomancer could do a decent job of it, but... I mean, Emo, it seems like a free game on the PL. In fact, it appears to be a mid-PL we're seeing. Up against XM's Venomancer.
Yeah, that should work out well. Bit worried about the laning phase. That could go a bit wonky if XM is going to play really aggressive and land those Gales. It's going to be hard for a PL to maintain. But it is a great pick here. You don't really have the best ways of clearing that out. Lifestealer does not clear out those Phantom Lancer illusions well at all. So if IG can just get that going, get him a good start, the response from CDEC is very limited.
I mean, we've seen this before, though, right? Like, IG ran this dual farming core lineup before. I'm pretty sure the exact same one, in fact. Now, I agree that, you know, it's a different draft from CDEC as well. I believe last time around they had the Leshrac up, which would be much more effective up against Emo on that PL. Can CDEC still abuse this, though, from IG? Like, this draft does still seem a little bit greedy.
I mean, you could still abuse it, but if CDEC does get that runaway start, they start doing their damage before the BKBs fly out, I can see them taking a lot of map control away if they get that start. It's really down to how much you can ask, how much can you get from these lanes, and I just feel like, especially with that Sand King Lina combination, you do have a lot working for IG in this early game draft.
Well, it's the final game. IG vs CDEC. One more game to go for that minor slot. A lot of pressure on both these two and some interesting drafts coming out. IG, the second time they're running a very similar draft, and CDEC, pretty much the second time they're also running a very similar draft with this Veno. We'll see which one actually works out this time, as both lost with these drafts earlier on. Really seems to depend on how well Emo can farm up on this PO and how effective he can be. And if they can shut him down, you know, it'll be a different story. IG probably will just have the advantage going into that late game because they don't really have anything to do with this PL. But if he does get shut down, well, we've seen what can happen. He could really just never recover.
Yeah, this aggression from IG with that smoke, though. It's the first time we've seen them really try to commit for those early runes, but they don't really find the initiation
30
just yet.
seconds to battle.
Gonna be patient with this one.
They are going to leave. Looks like JT, he's just going to start walking down to the bot lane, not wasting any more time up at the top. Problem is, though, IG, with that 5-man up top, have given away 3 bounty runes to the side of CDEC. So CDEC are going to be very happy with this start. IG, I mean, that first blood attempt that they just tried to have, they just never found it. CDEC,
Yeah,
James will give it
it's,
to him.
That wasn't too bright.
It's an interesting choice to make. They also just had Kaka walk right through mid, so they saw that lane swap coming out. Right, we released the rotation down of Lina. So they kind of know what to expect in this dual lane. And it is going to be that Sand King Lina dual lane. Just really effective. If you land that stun, going to be very easy to find a kill. The issue is you're actually laning against a Lifestealer, and he can just rage up if things go bad.
Oh, Emo. He's really copping it in this lane. I mean, he just gone through already 1 Tango. Had to TP back to his tier 1 tower after the Gale from XM. I mean, this matchup just does not favor Emo whatsoever.
Definitely not. It's very hard to play around this, especially at level 1. Level 2, you do have Doppel to dispel off, but that's not really a spell you want to be spamming out too often. Still though, it's going to be a rough time for Emo. Like, it's definitely not easy. He's going to have to invest in that regen to at least soak EXP, but XM is definitely just going to build up his farm here.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up at top lane? We'll see the Jara up with the Bane up against the 1-2-3 Centaur and James on the Rubik. And it shouldn't be too hard of a lane for Fly to get some farm up in. 1-2-3 shouldn't really be able to harass too hard unless you get the lift off on the gyro from the Rubik. Of course, the lift into the hoof stomp has been abused over and over again today. See how much if Fly falls for it or really gets caught out of position. Of course, bot lane, we will see the Lina Sanking matchup, and well, they already found Victoria with the LSA. He's going to be chased down a bit. JT, though, can't really get in range for that Burrow Strike attempt. But Kaka will just continue giving him that harassment. In fact, he might find the kill. He doesn't have Dragon Slave, but he doesn't need it. The salve being forced out from Victoria, but Kaka cancels that, takes the first blood for the side of IG. And that's going to put Victoria a little bit behind on that Disruptor. He wasted his salve.
Yeah, it's going to be a risky spot for Eve. He's not going to have that regen from his support. Does get ferried some of his items up, so he's alright with that. Kakado rotates in. He has that Invis rune.
Yeah, XM cops the LSA. Emo trying to give him that harassment back. XM has the Gale, doesn't go for Emo, but rather goes for Kaka. Dodges the LSA at least, but it looks like he should go down, although Kaka doesn't have Dragon Slave, but he will find the kill. James TP's going to try and help out. We maybe find a trade. In fact, no, the deny was there from Emo. Quick thinking from the side of IG. They do get a very, very important pickup. While all that was happening, though, we did see the Lifestealer actually finding a kill. I believe that was onto the Sand King. And yeah, it was. JT ended up going down solo to Eve.
It is still a pretty big win up, down, mid. I think that's a worthwhile trade. Just slow down this Venomancer. Try to get some space going for Emo. And you can definitely get a lot more work done this way. The key thing is to not let this PL drop too low in terms of net worth. As you mentioned, we've seen what happens when that does happen. It's a really greedy lineup from IG. And you can't have all 3 of these heroes farming up at the same time. There's just not enough space.
Kaka, bot lane almost going down to Eve, though, gets a nice stun off. Will be able to return back into the lane. Just heal himself up with those tangos. In fact, he'll be given a salve, and now the LSA landing once again on Eve. He'll be alright though, he'll walk out of there. Meanwhile, I mean, you look back to that mid, and although they found that 1 kill on XM, he's still applying a hell of a lot of pressure on Emo. Emo barely gets out with his life intact. XM has a Gale available if he wants to try and go for this kill attempt on Emo if he does come back in. But for now, he'll just focus on those CS. He'll wait for Emo to get out of position. Emo will not oblige. He'll just stay near that tier 1 tower. XM won't throw out the Gale quite yet.
Yeah, he's had to ferry himself out a salve. Try to regen up. Does go to the camps. Trying to get as much farm as possible, but this mid lane is definitely in CDEC's favor. Good start for XM. Can really start dipping into that jungle a bit. The least stack with his Plague Wards.
Wi-Fi is still basically free farming up that top lane. Essentially on par almost with the Lifestealer, who's slightly ahead. So Kaka is getting low bot lane though. Eve is getting lower. But Kaka gonna be focused down. Eve will find the kill and actually does walk away from JT. He had no mana to try and chase, so he won't bother with it. And that will allow Eve to get down to that bot shrine, just healing himself up all the way. Rather unfortunate for the side of IG that they couldn't find that kill. Now Eve will be back into the lane. As well as that, XM will rotate into the jungle and takes down Emo.
Yeah, it's a good set of pickoffs so far for CDEC. They're keeping these heroes in check. They're getting a lot done on Eve as well. The only issue is Fly, but he is free farming. His net worth isn't quite up there with the top heroes of CDEC, so overall you're going to be happy. In fact, they're jumping on XM once more.
Emo, nice LSA coming out from Karkan. XM should go down here. James trying to help him out and actually does do a good job of it with the lift, though he will pay with his own life. And XM will be allowed to salve up and try to turn this one around. Kaka, gotta be careful.
Oh.
Looks like he will go down to XM. Emo now gonna try and fight and find this kill that he wanted, but the Gale's there and Emo, he does go down. Now Ollie running in, the urn is gonna be there and he will actually heal himself up through the nightmare, but it won't be enough. Ollie does eventually find the kill, but it's at a very hefty price.
Yeah, that's a massive set of rotations from IG to just find that Venomancer. They've already lost their peel. The timing could have been a bit better for that save. At the very least, you are getting something on the Bane. Still not the hero you want that goal to be going to. Fly is down mid now as well. So he leaves that free lane up top that could give 1-2-3 the space to farm up.
And that's exactly what he does. 1-2-3, he's going to start forcing down that top tier 1 tower. Fight that pressure to the lane, force Fly back. Fly will be here, try and defend, although James is rotating over for a lift attempt. They may have enough damage with the lift into the hoof stomp and the double edge. Already got the retaliate stacks available on 1-2-3 if you wish. Was
Emo does TP up top, so it is safe again.
See Emo starting to really apply that pressure on that tier 1 mid tower as well. Getting very low, those Veno worlds. I mean, Emo, there's not really much he can do about it up against XM on that Veno. He's just trying to secure some farm. He's doing decently okay considering the circumstances as Fly ends up fighting 1-2-3. Now we'll go after James on the Rubik. There will be a rotation coming in from Eve though. Now Eve gonna see if he can chase and find this gyro, but doesn't get so lucky. So a 5-6, less than 1k net worth lead for the side of CDEC. Very even game between these two.
Definitely is. Just a minor lead here for CDEC. You are starting to see Fly pull away in terms of gold. Still nothing matching up to XM. But that is a Venomancer. There is some aggression down bot, but not going to be amounting to too much. Do have 1-2-3 shifting out his lane to get this happening. Just have Eve match up against that gyro. Hopefully find a couple of kills if it does work out their way. Still working towards that Midas on this Lifestealer. So before then, you're not going to be seeing any major itemization. It's the same story every time we see the Lifestealer. Midas into Radiance looks to be the name of the game here.
Looks like Emo has just completely left the mid lane as well. That'll allow XM. He'll push in that mid lane very easily, no contention whatsoever. He's almost level 10 as well in this Venoman, so that's going to be a pretty big concern for IG. You look at Emo, who's only level 8, and he's only just hit that. We're going to have a very early level 10 talent coming up, and that's going to mean a plus 90 gold per minute talent from XM. He's really going to start to escalate in that farm as well if this keeps up.
That's the one key thing for CDEC. They've found out early momentum with Eventmancer. They've got to be able to shut down this map now, though.
Well, they try to go into 1-2-3 bot lane. Epicenter will be there, but the Stampede away will allow him to get out. Now Kaka going to be in trouble on the Lina. They also found the Sand King, but XM, he wants to secure the Lina kill first. In fact, they may secure nothing, as they didn't really pick a hero to go after. They'll still find JT and Kaka. He's stuck around. Now Fly going to come in. They'll go after the Disruptor, and XM commits the Poison Nova, but the Fiend's Grip will come out from Ollie. And Ollie actually getting attacked by the Ancient Creeps while he's Fiend's Gripping. That is rather unfortunate. And he's losing a lot of HP. He might just have to be denied off now. You use the Shrine for Ollie? Yeah, of course you do.
Those are pretty massive kills going the way of Fly. That does give him a lot more gold. Pushes him to the top of net worth now.
Well, James is being pushed down in the mid lane as well. Emo does still the doppel with the lease. James, can he juke himself out? Not quite. Emo will find the right target. Now the glimpse back though from Victoria, but there is no follow-up to the glimpse. Emo will just walk out of there scot-free.
Yeah, that does leave us to 6-9. 11 minutes in, 1k net worth lead for CDEC. But you are starting to see worrying signs here from IG. Fly pretty much farmed himself back to top. And he has outrun your Veno. XM still doing fine for himself. You do finally have the Midas up on Eve, so the Radiance is going to be coming along now. But you have given a bit back to Fly. You are keeping Emo in check. You have to keep that situation as it is. If you give too much space to Emo, you suddenly have two very big cores to worry about.
Bot lane 1-2-3. Stun going to come out from Fly, but the rotations are there from CDEC. And so the Flak Cannon will actually be stolen by the Rubik. James going to try and farm up a bit himself. They did find that tier 1 top tower on CDEC. They do bring it down. XM, he's starting to take over that dire side jungle now. Trying to starve out the cores of IG. Fortunately for him, there will be no cores there as they've kind of smoked up. Fly going to be there with Ollie. And they are going to start rotating top where they know CDEC are. JT already in position to go for a Burrow Strike into the Epi. Oh, Fly still has a double damage rune up. They are going to run straight past the Disruptor, and that is going to be a very easy kill. Now Laguna from Kaka onto XM. And XM really has nowhere to go. He's just going down. Or maybe he's not. He's still walking away with 20 HP. Ollie will come in with the Brain Sap. Kaka will get denied off by Fly. It's going to be a 6-11. And I'm afraid, I mean, this Veno, while he has done a lot of work so far, he's died a couple times now. I mean, in fact, it's 4 times. I question how much impact a Veno can have going into the mid to late game.
Not as much as you'd expect. Definitely does get mitigated out by the BKBs that tends to be built up. Fly is rushing that as his first item as well after the drums. Just about, I don't know, 2,000 gold away. So once that's up, of course, you're just not going to be as much in teamfights, although...
They found Emo, a very nice pick. Very quick from the Disruptor, just drops it immediately. That is a great pickup on the PL.
Yeah, that's one hero you really have to keep in check. You are giving Fly a lot of space, but Emo just can't build up yet. Still trying to rush that Diffusal. Once that's up, his damage does shoot up, but his durability does not.
James going to hang around bot. 1, 2, 3 will be there on the Centaur. So they will throw a scan out onto the top side jungle. That'll help Eve know what the hell's going on up there. And in fact, he has got 2k gold already on that lifestealer. This Sacred Relic should be coming out very, very quick. They haven't really been able to slow him down at all.
Timing's going to be really good for Eve. Of course, it remains to be seen whether or not that is going to be enough to give CDEC a bigger lead. 7-11 now. Around 15 minutes in. It's a 1k advantage. Not much to work with. Still though, a lot of waiting coming out from CDEC. Radiant's going to be the big timer here. No natural vehicles. That is still the big question. I mean, if you had a storm here, the Radiants would definitely be a teamfight tipper. But as it is, you rarely see Eve in these fights anyway. So we'll see just how well he can stand in front and fight up against what IG does have.
Ball lane, looks like IG trying to apply pressure. Now we've got a massive sandstorm going on. Both the Rubik and JT just sandstorming it up. Siege creeps are at war though, as they just right-click each other. That's a real battle in this game, these damn catapults.
Look at that. If only they were trebuchets, but fortunately they're not. There is... Fly is in here now. They are just gonna look to take this tier 1. James gonna make that hard with another sandstorm.
Bombs will be popped. Looks like they have spotted somebody with 1, 2, 3. He did grab an invis rune for himself, and that's gonna be a hard target to go after. IG unfortunately will waste the drum charge, but that's not too big of a deal. They'll be alright with that. Straight back into the jungle. There's more farm to be had for IG.
Bit of a waste of time there. Definitely a slight win for CDEC, as they do get a successful defense with only a Rubik. So you have to admit, James was super effective and efficient with his time spent there. Just managing to stave off a push all by his lonesome self.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And now the bot tier 1 will be pushed in by the side of CDEC. Nothing too hard going on, although Hoofstomp in the back. They found the Gyro fly. Stampede comes out as well. Static Storm immediately. They don't want any games with this Gyrocopter. Just take him out and secure the tier 1, but a great play from 1, 2, 3.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
The rest of CDEC now happy to back out of there.
It's a very big kill going the way of CDEC. That was one of the shorter blinks we've seen into a kill, although they might find more.
Yeah, Emo, he's trying to go into Victoria. He's still going, in fact. 1, 2, 3, he missed the hoof stomp, though. Emo, can he find this? He definitely can, but you don't want to give your own life away for this. He does have Karkar there on the Lina. And Emo does go for the TP. There's no hoof stomp to cancel that off. They will get away with it. Nice pick off from the PL.
Yeah, it's a risky move from him, but he is working himself quite well with just the defusal. If you can find those pickoffs on those squishier targets, that's one way to build up when the jungle is kind of taking over.
Top lane, JT jumps in with the Burrow Strike, and Eve falling very low though. Laguna dodged with the Rage, it seems. And now they turn it around. James stole it. And with that, JT gonna end up losing his life though. Nice Burrow Strike at the end. It will not matter. That Laguna, pretty big shame to have missed out on that, but Eve was just very quick with the Q. Ended up surviving because of it.
It's a nice win for CDEC now. They have built themselves a 4k lead, 10-12. You're not seeing enough space on IG to really widen the gap with these cores. As long as CDEC keeps this momentum up, they can't afford to slow this game down. Right? You don't want to go into late game against these two massive cores. So XM, after farming up his next item, should really look to clear out this map of objectives. Start pressuring tier 3s by around about the 25 to 30 minute mark.
There will be a smoke. IG Got the blink, they've got the veil. JT's ready to go. James still has the Laguna available on the Rubik and would love to use it one more time at least. Looks like the side of IG though. They go up to the top lane expecting somebody to be around. Nobody's going to be there.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Meanwhile, while they're running up at top lane, Eve, he does have his Radiance up. They smoke up. He doesn't really have Infest available, but perhaps just doesn't feel like he needs it this early on. Now going to rotate to that top lane as well. IG, they should be able to break this smoke though. They do. Wards will give vision. They do get the lift off onto Kaka at least, and so they'll finally in a kill. Not what they wanted, but they get the bounties. They find the kill. Could be worse.
Definitely could be. The one thing is that IG have so much more vision in this game. All the way in the bot lane, which does allow that jungle to be exploited by even the Bane without any repercussions. Vision gain from CDEC not as strong. That is costing them a couple of kills in these rotations. Would like to see that rectified, but they are making their way up to that tier 2 top. It's going to be a nice objective to take, as they have kind of lagged behind now. You really want to clear out this map before the enemy force can farm up. There is a defense attempt though.
Ball down. Will come out. Kind of tells you where Firefly is in the tree line. IG though are smoked right behind the tier 2 tower, so they're raring to go anyway. And they might find Eve TPing out. He wasn't raged up, but JT won't make it in time. He didn't have the vision. CDEC, they are getting away with a lot more than they should be, it feels like. But IG, they just keep farming up. You have faith in your PL to push you through that late game. CDEC definitely don't want to wait that long. They are trying to press the issue right here, right now. They're going to go back up to that, towards that top lane. IG. Back to farming.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for IG to rush. Just slowly building up. The pressure is definitely on CDEC though. They smoke up again. They're trying to find something.
JT gonna get caught out. 1-2-3 with a very nice hoof stomp, and that's gonna be a very easy kill. Another static storm committal, just to ensure he can't get himself out of there. Now Ollie has to be careful not to get picked off on the way up. Looks like he wasn't quite spotted by 1-2-3, but maybe now. Looks like the Centaur has found him. Gets another beautiful hoof stomp off on that Centaur. James, no follow-up lift quite yet, but he does get it off in the end. He was just waiting on the glimpse first. That's going to be 2 pickoffs now for CDEC once again, as they can go up to that tier 2 and just try to claim that tower.
It's going to be a straightforward push this time around. You don't have that Bane for the control onto the Lifestealer. So the defense not going to be coming out from IG this time around. Just going to have to give away this objective. And CDEC going to be very happy, of course, but they want more on the map. Emo.
Man, mid lane. Emo getting caught out by himself. I mean, you can drag this out to the late game, but you can't afford to die like that.
Nah.
CDEC, this is their power peak.
Definitely is. That's like that. Really negate whatever farm you found. Tier 2 down mid now, under pressure. This is exactly what CDEC needs. Will they go for the third tier 2? Possibly. They don't quite have enough yet to force the high ground, I feel. So we're going to have to just go for these safe pickoffs. And just clear out the map slowly but surely. They do find Kaka.
Yeah, Kaka once again top lane. Does get picked off. CDEC, they're really on fire now. They've got the momentum going their way, and they could just go for a Roshan if they really want. It may still be a little bit early. They've got everything on the map that they need. No real need to panic right now, as Firefly is currently just farming up in the Radiant side jungle, but he's putting himself in a little bit of danger being there. I mean, he's just trying to pick up that INTERCEPTOR now. Start amping up that DPS on the gyro.
Should get himself that Ags in a pretty decent timing as well. It's down to these wards allowing him to do this kind of forward play. So he does TP out eventually. Join the rest of his team.
CDEC, they smoke up again. Infest Bomb is going to be there on 1, 2, 3. Emo, be a very nice pick off. Hoof Stomp, it won't make it in time. Doppel was there. 1, 2, 3 is still chasing, but there's the Burrow Strike, and now Eve, he'll pop out. The call down already there from Fly, and now the feed strip coming out from Ollie. They'll just surround that Life Stealer, take him out. The Poison Nova was a bit too late to the party. And everyone from IG that is affected, just TP out immediately. They already found 2 massive core pickups. There's no need to pursue for any more. CDEC, I mean, they were just kind of uncoordinated in that team fight, it seemed.
Definitely. They keep going for these smokes without the forward vision. It cost them a lot every single time. I'd really like to see a few more wards coming out for these guys. If you're going to go for those aggressive smokes, you need a vision game. There are a lot of sentries from IG. They have really made sure that they're safe here. The D-wards finally fly out in the bot jungle, though. It's not going to be as safe. They still have that one nice ward, but it's about to expire. 8 seconds in.
They are going to head down bot, IG. The Emo, I mean, he's got the Diffusal, he's got the Manta. He may feel confident enough to go for this solo attempt on 1, 2, 3. In fact, he has Karkar there anyway. Straight Laguna to the face, though. Static Storm comes out. 1, 2, 3 will turn around with the Hoof Stomp. And now Emo needs to get the hell out. CDEC, they are starting to group up and try to help out. Fly, call down will be there on Victoria. He should be alright. He'll just walk out of there alive. Eve, he'll get out as well. He won't bother with this any longer. But it looks like IG now feeling very confident with their farm. They're going to maybe push in that bot tier 2 tower. They didn't quite find the kills they wanted, but they did force the side of CDEC back.
Definitely. We are delaying the game long enough as well that IG, with Emo, he's working his way towards that heart. He still lacks the Reaver. That's still 3,000 gold he has to farm up. But once he has that item, it's going to be so much harder to deal with his PL.
CDEC, are they going to try for another smoke? Now I'm just going to stay grouped up for now in the mid lane, hoping somebody tries to go for Eve's life. So Eve just playing a bit of a bake, but I doubt anyone falls for it. IG aren't even in there. They're down at the bot lane right now, just ensuring Fly safe. And Ollie with that Shadow Amulet. Oh, James with the lift.
Cool.
4-star was there on Fly though, very, very early on.
Good D-wards coming out from CDEC. They take out that freshly planted cliff ward. Give themselves a little bit more to work with. Still though, it has slowed down a bit. Gap of net worth now down to just 2k advantage for CDEC. They are giving IG a way back in this game in terms of net worth, which is a bit worrisome. CDEC's still pretty strong. You want to see them push that early advantage a bit more.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Fly moving forward once again. He does have help behind him. JT, top lane, gonna get jumped on though. He gets the blink off straight into the Burrow Strike. And well, he just wants to TP out. James, they do get, well, they don't actually get any vision. They had the lift available, but they didn't quite see him. James, a bit unlucky with that Burrow Strike miss, but he was going in blind.
It's a close call. If they found that kill, you'd be very happy. JT not really achieving too much by throwing his body there, but he does give them the slip. So he buys some time. He manages to stave off any sort of rotations from CDEC. And IG, once more, using this time very well, just farming up. Does look like, I believe that's enough gold on Emo for the heart. He's just gonna buy it straight up. There you go. What do you do now? Emo, heart on the PL. He's found a way to bounce back in, just about 1k behind that Lifestealer. Do you have enough damage to clear the sky out? Probably do, but Will you focus on him down?
Well, they get the lift onto the Sand King JT. He does burrow strike out. They glimpse him back, and Emo, he starts moving in with the call down on Fly. They won't commit 100% though. They just wanted to make sure their Sand King was okay, and they do back out. IG, they'll shrine up, perhaps even just go for a smoke now, and that is exactly what they do. So CDEC appear to be ready for this. They'll be able to strike out onto the Venomancer. Still, he's very tanky on XM as well. In fact, he 4-staffs out of there with the Poison Nova usage. Fly with his BKB moving in. 1, 2, 3. Can't really do anything here, so Eve finally jumps out, goes after the Gyro. They Fiend's Grip up the Centaur. And now the Gyrocopter's basically a sitting duck. They may get a deny off, but no, Fly, he'll man up and fight back. They will eventually find him with the Disruptor. Eve still managing to work somehow. JT, he does get away with his life intact. About 40 HP on him. They'll go after Ollie instead on the Bane. Meanwhile, on the left side, there was a Fiend's Grip there from James on the Rubik. They caught Emo, but it's all too late. Emo will pick up the kill now onto James and walk the hell out. In fact, never mind, he won't. He goes back in. Victoria will be the target.
Oh.
And they just have no way of controlling up Emo on this PL.
Oh man, that's the one issue with CDEC's draft. They don't have the best way to control the solutions. And man, are they tanky? They really are now. The heart making all the difference here. It's hard to clear out those illusions, even with the AoE effects coming out from the Venomancer. So overall, pretty wonky fight for CDEC. They lost 3 heroes. They only take out the Gyrocopter so far, and if you're CDEC, you're not going to be happy with that. You aren't finding all the big kills. Emo is getting away with way too much. He's working himself up to the butterfly. So not only are his illusions tanky, but they'll also start to hit a bit harder. And you'll really just struggle to control this PL. CDEC, they still have ways of clearing out these fights, but they've really just let IG bounce back in after having a clear advantage on their side.
Lift. It's going to be there on the Gyro. Hoof Stomp wasn't quite there though. The 4-staff was out in time. Now the glimpse back though. They'll find Kaka. Burrow Strike from JT doesn't really connect. And Eve just going to try and take this easy pick off, and does. That'll even it out. 17-17. Less than 1k net worth lead for IG. That win probability is still on CDEC's side. 63% their way. CDEC now going to try and push this issue a little bit. Infest Bomb is going to be available on 1, 2, 3. The problem is Emo still trying to find the right PL and take him out before he doppels again. He's almost at level 25 as well, so he's going to have the Doppelganger talent. They still get the lift off on the Sand King, but the Nightmare will save. Who do they go for now? JT, he burrow strikes out of there. And they BKB and Stampede out. But look at Emo, he's not giving up, he's chasing XM, he'll be the target on the Venomancer. He Poison Nova's up, he gets it off before he gets taken down. The 1, 2, 3 jumps in with the Hoof Stomp now. The control is there, they found JT on the Sand King. Emo though is still way too tanky. They get the Rubik, they'll get the Centaur, and they're gonna find more now. Eve been left alone on the Lifestealer. And this PL is just uncontrollable. In fact, they found another. They found Victoria, it's a full team wipe.
That's a massive win for IG. That does, in fact, allow them to go to high ground if they so wish. No buyback on Eve, no buyback on the Disruptor. Even if XM bought back, he doesn't have that Poison Nova up. It's going to be a very hard time to get this defense going.
Well, they'll get the tier 2. Do they force the issue? Yeah, they will. IG, we don't usually see them doing this, but they understand the opportunity here. And Emo is just so far ahead now. That's the tier 3 gone. Straight through to the mid-racks, and this is going to make it very, very hard for CDEC. They can't go for the bot or top racks though. There are still tier 1 and tier 2 towers available. But they'll be very, very satisfied with the early racks in the mid. There's only up to go here for IG. I mean, they've got a pure Gyro. It's... Farming's a good thing. There's no reason for them to feel like they need to rush this.
They've got time on their side. they've really slowed this game down enough that CDEC's stuck in that position once more where their heroes aren't set up to scale as well. So what do you do now? XM on the Venomancer? His effectiveness at this point is less than you'd expect. You know, it's not as good as it was before. Perhaps once he picks up his talents and his Ags, you could see that increase. Before then, he's just a sitting duck. He doesn't have great mobility as well. So all he can do is press R, try to catch people in Gale, and that's it. That's all you can expect from him. The work is riding on the back of 123 and
They found Emo. They found Emo, but do they have the damage output? They get the Static Storm, but he mantis out of the kinetic field. And now the Epicenter JT, he finds two with the Burrow Strike. Laguna straight from Kaka. Eve is gone on the lifesteal on 123. He'll continue to be chased out. Emo is not letting him go. And he does blink up towards the north. Do they continue that chase? He does TP anyway. They'll leave it be. They already found the biggest priority target in the form of that lifestealer. And it looks like they have found more in the form of James on the Rubik. This is really turning into IG's game to lose. I mean, 8k net worth lead, 35 minutes in. They are looking pretty. Butterfly up on Emo. And now a Roshan attempt will be taken.
Yeah, there can't be any contestation from CDEC. They blew their spells there in the last fight. Poison Nova still on cooldown. Stampede on cooldown. Nobody can really just run in there and grab that. Emo, very happy, of course. He has caught up. Like, he's leading the pack in net worth after a really rough start. That's how far CDEC has taken this game. IG just slowing it long enough to get their cores up and running. You have a farm Gyro. You have a farm PL. Up against a Phantom, up against a Venomancer and a Lifestealer. Lifestealer very potent, but Venomancer really tapering off here. XM. All he has to do is just land that Nova.
Fusel gonna be there on Victoria. Laguna straight away from Kaka, and Emo feels confident enough to dive. He does want to back off now, but the lift is there, and now the Hoof Stomp as well. They've got the control for now. Emo falling low, still has the Aegis though. Won't waste it. Looks like they are gonna go back in. Burrow Strike, but JT with the Epicenter Burrow just clears them up. Oh my, the top racks is going to be exposed for IG. They will start knocking it down. This will be the second racks of the game, and I don't believe CDEC will have an answer. 123 jumps in. Infest Bomb is there. They find the Gyrocopter. The real problem is the PL though, and he'll just get started on the Centaur now with the Beans Room coming out from the Bane. And well, 123 is gone. James will be chased down underneath the tier 4 towers. Emo, not going to let him go. And now the Lifestealer. Burrow Strike perfect from JT. Hold him down. They'll try to turn it, but it's only James and Eve. He'll find Kaka on the Lina, but James is going to die back on the Rubik. And it's only Eve left. Emo, he's diving the fountain now. The Burrow Strike's there. Static build, or static kinetic build, Static Storm comes out. Eve is gone. Emo will give his Aegis away. The buyback will be there from the Lifestealer. And Emo, does he try again? He'll go after Victoria, punish him for that Static Storm. Looks like that'll be it. They found everything they wanted.
It's a massive win for IG. Yeah, 19k lead now for IG. Massive win. They force out so many buybacks. They basically clear out the base except for that bot set of racks. Still standing because that tier 2 is still up. There were lines drawn. That is going to be what they move for next. And all the tools now available for IG. Just CDEC. Their defense is wonky at best. They've got to really land at initiation from 123 and Eve. That's the key of their fights now. Just blink in, infest bomb, stun on 2, and try to find as much as possible from that. It's rough. It's rough, right? The XM Veno has tapered off. You're really putting all your eggs in one basket. In Eve's Lifestealer, trying to finish up that Mjolnir to really clear through those illusions. But they're vulnerable. They don't have buybacks. They're on the last edge here. We have seen CDEC in this situation before, where they take a couple of good team fights and come back in. If they can pull that off here, that might give them enough time to start working on farming up and getting bigger on these big heroes.
Yeah, but how do you take down the PL? I just don't see an answer to that. Like,
Radiant's bottom tower has
how do you do it? The Lifestealer can't catch him. XM can't catch him on the Venomancer. He's just food right now to the PL. I guess it's the Static Storm, right? Like, if the Disruptor catches him in that and you have everyone around this PL just hitting him down, maybe.
Definitely. That's the one big way. Otherwise, you're just relegated to Eve's Maelstrom and, well, afterwards Mjolnir. That's really why they're working up to that. Try to get that active onto a hero being attacked. You can maybe eat through those illusions that way. Not very fast, though. And that is the biggest issue here. That last big PL, that PL is really just working out here for IG. 25k advantage, 20 to 31, 40 minutes in. Another measured game in this series. Measured and patient is working IG's way.
Well, bot lane is the final lane to push in for IG if they wish to get those Magas up. At least there will be an INTERCEPTOR upgrade now coming out for XM, so you'll have that Poison Nova even more powerful. See how much effect it does have in the next team fight, though. The Eve desperately trying to get an MKB up against that PL. That's not even the only problem, though. Like, Fly, he is so farmed up on the Gyrocopter. He's only 3k behind his own Phantom Lancer. Gonna have the full Mjolnir up soon as well. I already see JT on the Sand King just waiting for his opportunity to jump. He'll smoke up. Emo now actually has the Orchid up as well, so he's going straight into a Bloodthorn. The Burrow Strike will be there. They caught out Eve. Lift is there from James, though. Fall down. Not going to catch out anyone, but it will clear out the tier 3 tower to be taken by these PL illusions. They may just slow siege this. Just keep sending those Doppel illusions in. No IG, they don't feel quite comfortable yet.
We've seen them do this time and time again, right? They've gotten the map under control, but after nearly losing last time a turnaround came from CDEC, they play much more cautious. So they're just going to do that once more. You know, wait out the time. Time is on their side. They just keep scaling up. CDEC have hit their ceiling. There's only so much more you can expect coming out from CDEC's draft. Whereas IG, you know, you have all the time in the world here. Just take your time, build up. And they are just slowly farming up for what looks like they are going for the Bloodthorn on Emo. That added control, just the added control and damage coming out in this PL, going to be massive. And on Fly, still working to finish that Mjolnir.
It's not an easy game. CDEC, that is. So we're going to start moving in. Once again, IG going to apply that pressure towards that mid lane. Try and force it in a bit before you go down bot. Perhaps even get a fight if you can coming out from the side of CDEC, but IG, they're going to slowly start moving in once again. Through that bot lane. CDEC. It's going to be very important for them to hold, because it's going to be even harder up against Megas. Emo will just move in. The tier 3 almost gone. And Kaka will clean it up. Do try to move forward with Eve, but he just gets kited around over and over again by this Gyrocopters. Emo now going to move in. Seems to be all up to 1-2-3 to start that initiation off.
Oh,
Do jump in, 1-2-3 with the Infest Bomb. Fly, fly. Just gonna BKB up and walk away.
Radiant's middle tower is
IG actually backs off and decides that's it for their push. They go back to farming.
Looks like they might wait out the Roshan. I mean, the Roshan is gonna be up in 40 seconds. With the Aegis, there's no real way to take down the PL a second time. And Emo's almost got the Bloodthorn up, so probably what they're waiting for.
Yeah, it's a safe choice. There is a lot of safety in play here. 34k advantage for IG. Not quite enough to finish the game yet.
They
Arch is
buy
gonna wait for that
Scotty.
rush for the guaranteed.
I have Scotty now up on Emo as well, so he's just got an even tankier.
Yeah, it looks like he did bypass that Bloodthorn fort. Still, gonna be a pretty strong item to have. They might catch people out here.
Yeah, looks like 1-2-3 will be the target. Emo gets started, but the Lotus Orb will make him think twice. Still plenty of homing missiles, and JT does find the Veno XM. He's a sitting duck right now. He poisoned Novas, but it only hits the gyrocopter. And with that, Emo just going to rush in straight away. Looks like he'll go after Victoria first on the Disruptor instead. They'll clean him up. There's no buyback on that Disruptor. IG will move in for more. Eve gonna threaten with his presence. Emo gonna move in straight after that melee barracks. So BKB popped now by Eve. They'll get the burrow strike off as well. Emo in the back, still looking pretty darn healthy. He'll just topple away from Eve. They found James, and now the Fiend's Grip is there on the Life Sealer. Epicenter Burrow in the back. They caught out Eve, they caught out XM. The buybacks are flying out, but you haven't got one on the Life Sealer, and that's going to be GG. A big congratulations to IG for pulling through in game number 5. And they do end up qualifying for the Dota Summit 11 through the Chinese close qualifiers.
That was quite the series from both teams. A really close matchup on both ends. Really prolonged games. In the end, IG does come on top. CDEC, they gave a good show. They're going to have to settle with 20 DPC points and try again next time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a rough close qualifiers. They got so darn close, CDEC. Perhaps next time they'll make it through. But again, congratulations to IG. We'll see them at the Summit 11. Of course, that's it for us as well, John. It's been a pleasure having you. I mean, it's getting pretty darn late, so I'm just going to close this off. It is MLP Dota and John X Fire. It's been a pleasure casting. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time.
real stale.
Mm-hmm.
Like Undying. Okay, thank God. If they gyro Undying again, I might have actually lost my mind. I gotta
If they
say,
Mask of Madness SMI BKB gyro again, will you lose your mind?
Are
though?
you more okay with them picking up 2 cores at the very start of their draft?
I think that's fine. I have no issue with that.
Okay.
I actually like 2 cores. I think it gives you more versatility, especially when you're I take that back. Maybe it's LC4.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, maybe not then.
Dude, LC4 is not good. You could be literally any other hero.
Yeah.
Anything else.
By the way, you notice Askamani, they banned out the Bloodseeker, so I'd fit him take out the Undying immediately. I think that's a very underrated relationship there. Bloodseeker absolutely destroys everything Undying wants to do because you immediately kill Tombstone, you get so much attack speed. You ignore zombies because you run so fast, and you just hit things. You run past the Undying. He wants to serve as this buffer zone between his squishies and you, and Bloodseeker just bypasses him.
I think another thing is that while he does have sustain, he doesn't oftentimes use it on himself, or like he can't use it on everyone, I guess, in a way. So his whole like I'm gonna be really tanky, like he's sitting at 800 HP when he's at 50% health, right? And he feels comfortable with that, but he's still at 50% HP, right? Like, you don't spend your laning phase oftentimes at max health, right? Because you just have so much from decay, you can man fight anybody. So it's like you have to be careful, I guess, at playing the Undying when it comes to laning
That's
phase.
a good point. You're effectively giving away damage to your Bloodseeker because you're going to be low. Your job is to trade as Undying.
Yeah.
Wraith King into Treant Protector. I feel like teams are figuring out Treant Protector, like with the Quelling Blades and lanes. I have not been impressed by most teams' Treant Protector play. I think outside of like the elite Treant Specialists, this here has not looked amazing.
It's let me just say, it's an NA hero. I don't know why, but North America has a lot of supports that are just... There's some relationship between techies and Tree. I don't know if they're just obnoxious-ass heroes that sit in a lane and annoy
both
you with
start
their
with T.
mechanics.
Okay.
True.
That's a relationship, I guess.
Right on the mark there, Kyle.
No worries.
But I mean, this is a guy who's not necessarily going to have a large team fight impact. He's very focused on winning his lane, and then he's very focused on like continuing to dominate a lane. You don't play in the mid lane at all with this hero, which I think is a big downside to him, because obviously the mid lane tower is really important when it comes to map control and stuff. So I don't know.
If you don't know, then why you say anything at all? You just
'Cause
spreading
it's our job. We have
misinformation.
to talk.
It's
Kyle, like,
it's an abrasive. I don't know about this hero.
Gotcha. Do you ever find that happen though? Like, what do you do? Sometimes there's drafts, right? And it's the exact same draft as, let's say, it was in game 1. How do you what do you break down? What do you talk about?
say similar stuff.
You go off
Bring
topic,
up new
right?
points.
That's the
Go off
dream.
topic. I mean, we got a different draft though. It's not relevant, Kyle.
What would you say is the ideal ratio, and I'm sure we'll get Chad to weigh in on this as well, of bullshittery to serious analysis?
Depends on the tournament, but I would say
Yep.
a qualifier like this, 90 to 10.
90-10. All right. That's
For
This is a Valve DPC minor
for
capitalist.
for a LAN event, it's probably I would say the ideal ratio is actually 60-40 with
Really?
bullshit 60.
okay.
For TI, maybe it's 40-60.
Okay.
But I legitimately think that the draft is like incredibly boring from the viewing perspective, and bullshitting is just another word for entertaining.
Yeah. Especially when
Maybe we're not very good at it, but
Yeah. Well, it's also, you got to consider that most analysts have no idea what they're talking about. Not us, of course.
True.
Not you guys. So wouldn't you rather have them just joking around versus making you laugh at their pitiful attempts at breaking down what's happening in front of you?
Well,
regarding
Twitch
the
chat
draft?
doesn't know that any better.
That's true.
The analysts may not know hardly anything, but Twitch chat literally knows nothing. So to them, you know, oh, he predicted Legion Commander 4 position.
Whoa.
That must be viable. Oh, man.
Is offlane just these 3 heroes now? Abba, Legion, Omni? Those feel like the offlaners right now.
I still think Centaur's okay.
Okay.
But Centaur's like, for me, like, whenever I'm asked about Centaur, like, Centaur's, he's good. He's never, like, at least right now, he's not great. You know, like, everything that he does, he's not going to be great at it, but he's going to be a solid offlaner for you. You can go ahead and first pick that hero in pubs, and you'll feel okay about it. But I think the sustain aspect of these other heroes is just a lot better for the current meta.
Unrelated. But have you ever noticed that most people's noses look like downvotes? Mine is literally a downvote. Look at that.
Yeah, as far as bullshit goes, this is like really up there on the bullshit meter, you know.
Well,
I
just saying.
I appreciate the.
I never realized
Why do you
that.
think that is, Kyle? Do you think there's some biological reason why?
I don't know what you're going for here.
Okay,
Are you saying it's pointing at something?
No,
Are you saying that...
Well, downvotes would have been based on our noses because they came later.